welcome back to my channel. So today or tonight, I believe, is the series finale of American Idol. If it's not tonight, it's this week sometime, or was this week. I don't really know. I don't watch the show anymore. I used to really love it and really watch it. I think I started around season 3 and I quit around season 7 or 8, 9, somewhere around there. In my personal opinion, I think it kind of went downhill when the judges weren't Simon, Paula, and Randy anymore. They kind of just made the show. That's who it was, and in my opinion, it just went kind of downhill. I also feel like they should have just stopped it at season 10, honestly, instead of dragging out to season 15. I think it just ran its course. I don't know. They had, The Voice came out, and these other shows, and it just, I don't know. I just feel like it was probably done around season 10. But it is what it is. They dragged it out. They did not ask my opinion. I don't know why they didn't. Anyways, so I thought, since it's a series finale, that I would tell a little story time of the time I tried out for American Idol. And newsflash, if you don't know, I did not win American Idol, just in case you didn't know that. But I thought I would still kind of tell you about the day that I auditioned. And as a lot of people think that you do go and you try out for the judges, which is so not true. You have to go through an audition process all on its own before that. And so when I tell people that, it's kind of like, oh, really? Because if I tell people that I tried out for American Idol, they're like, oh, did you meet Ryan Seacrest and Simon and Paula and all these people? And I'm like, no, because I didn't make it. So I tried out when I was 16. I was barely 16, and it was end of July or beginning of August, probably a Thursday or Friday. And the only reason I know that is because I had to miss a day of band camp and that was usually end of July, August area. And so a few days before you audition, you have to go and sign papers and get paperwork and get wristbands. So the day came, and they tell you to get there at really early in the morning, 6 or 7 or 8, something like that, really early in the morning. And basically all that is so you sit outside, and they'll come by with a camera or pan the crowd and film. And I think maybe they'll bring Ryan Seacrest out for a few minutes, few seconds, and they'll just show the crowd. So it's look at all these people that are auditioning for the judges, is what they're making you think. So they do that, and my mom and I were not about that life, so I think we got there a little bit later. We didn't stand in line a whole super long time, but so you get there, and I auditioned in Kansas City because that's where I was living at the time. And so it was in a big arena, and everybody just kind of went and sat in these sections, and on the floor of the arena they set up 10 to 12 tables with black curtains in between them, and that's where you auditioned, right there on the floor. They had 2 or 3 people in each table, and they were producers or other people that work on the show auditioning. That's who you audition for. And they would call down sections, and you would go in groups of 4 to each table, and they would point at you, and you had 5 to 10 seconds, barely any time, maybe 15, 20 seconds, but it felt 5 seconds. But you barely had any time to sing your song. So if you were not spot on, it was, that's it. They'll move on to the next person. And then they'll kind of tell you which one of you made it, who didn't make it. And if you made it, you would go to the right, and I don't know what you do over there because I didn't get to experience that. But you would go over there, and I think you I don't know if you had to audition again, or you just got information about when you would audition for the judges, because it wasn't that day. It was a few weeks, even a few months, I think, later, because I don't think you auditioned till November, something like that. So the judges weren't even anywhere near this audition at all. They came later. And if you didn't make it, like myself, you went to the left, and they had people waiting at some trash cans, and they would snip your wristband. I told my mom it was they were waiting there to snip your dreams, cut your hopes and dreams. It's done. And then you just go out into the parking lot. it leads out to the parking lot. Like, you do not get to come back into the arena. You're done. Go home. You didn't make it. So that's kind of how the process worked. The most ridiculous and annoying thing about the day was that it took so long. First of all, my mom and I were there for like 7 to 8 hours. It was ridiculously long. And every so often they would come and like tear down the tables and everything, and they would bring a camera out and film the crowds, and Ryan Seacrest would come out and like talk to the crowds for a few minutes. Then they would put the tables up again, and then a little bit later they would tear it all down again and have him come out again and film the crowds. They did that like 2 or 3, 4 times. Like, why don't you just do it all at once? Like, that would make sense, at least to me. I don't know. But again, they did not ask me. So they did that, and like it would take like 30 or 40 minutes to put the tables up and tear them down each time. So it was a ridiculously long process. But yeah, so finally my section got called. We went down there, group of 4. We went up there and they pointed to me, and if you want to know, I sang I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me. And nobody in my group of 4 made it. So that kind of sucks, because I didn't even be like, oh, I met him. I only met like 2. I only talked to like 2 of the people in my group. But yeah, so no, I did not make it on American Idol. And I really wasn't upset about it. Like, I don't remember like leaving the audition super sad or like crying or upset. Honestly, I told like 0 people that I was doing it, just for the simple fact is that if I didn't make it, I didn't want to have to explain to them that I tried out. Oh, but I didn't make it. You know, I didn't want to like put it all over Facebook or put it out everywhere and then have to be like, no, I didn't make it. No, I didn't make it. Like, say it 10,000 times. So I barely told anybody. I have barely told anybody since then, just because it's not that exciting. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I tried out for American Idol. No, didn't make it. I'm a loser. But looking back though, I was barely 16. I was not ready for that audition at all. I think I like practiced like 5 songs or something, and then when I stood up there, I Can Only Imagine, that was just the song that came out. Like, walking up there, I don't think I was for sure on what song I was gonna sing. So I was not really ready. Not saying that if I had practiced a little bit more, I would have made it, but I wasn't ready. And even if I had made it, you know, made it to the judges or even past them, at that time, I don't think I was ready for that either. I was super shy. I mean, I still am a very shy person, but I was super shy then. I don't think I would have done very well. I mean, I probably would have just made myself like buck up, suck it up, and do okay, but I would have been really, really shy, and I do not think I would have been ready for all that. So it was probably the best thing that I didn't make it. But yeah, so that's just my little story time, just to kind of tell you how the process worked, because it's not really what they make it seem like on television. So it's not what a lot of people think. Like, you don't try out in front of the judges, you don't get to automatically meet Ryan Seacrest, and it's not as glamorous as they make the audition process seem on TV. But it was a fun experience, and I am still, happy that I did it. I can still say that I did it. It's kind of one of those things, like, if it were on my bucket list to try out for a TV show, I can check it off, because I did. Yeah, and since then, there's never been a time where I was like, man, I really wish I would have made it on American Idol. Like, of course I love to sing, and of course that would have been awesome, but there's never been a time that I regretted trying out or I was really upset that I didn't make it. So it is what it is, really. But yeah, that is my story time. So my question for you guys is, have you guys ever tried out for a TV show? Like, not just American Idol, but any TV show. Like, how did it go? Was the process the way you thought it would be? Was it different? All those things. You should definitely tell me in the comments below, because I would love to know. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. That would mean so much to me. And thank you guys again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye. go well, it could go bad, but I'm just hoping for like less focus and